First contact. The vast expanse of space had always called to humanity, a siren song of endless possibilities. For centuries we gazed at the stars, wondering if we were alone. On July 17, 2047, we got our answer. It began as an ordinary day at the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, lead astronomer, was reviewing data from the night before when an anomaly caught her eye. A signal, unlike anything she'd ever seen, pulsed rhythmically across her screen. "Carlos, get over here," she called to her assistant, her voice trembling with excitement. Carlos rushed over, his eyes widening as he saw the display. "Is that—" "I think so," Elena whispered, her fingers flying across the keyboard as she ran diagnostics. "It's not random. There's a clear pattern." Within hours, observatories around the world confirmed the signal. Humanity held its collective breath as scientists worked tirelessly to decipher the message. After 3 days of feverish work, they cracked the code. The message was simple: we come in peace. Prepare for contact. Global leaders scrambled to formulate a response. The United Nations convened an emergency session, and a team of Earth's finest scientists, linguists, and diplomats was assembled. Dr. James Chen, a renowned xenolinguist, led the communication efforts. "We need to project strength, but also openness," he advised the UN Security Council. "We're dealing with an advanced civilization. We can't afford to appear primitive or aggressive." As the world waited, strange objects appeared in Earth's orbit. Sleek, silvery craft unlike anything humans had ever constructed. They made no aggressive moves, simply maintaining their position. Then, exactly 1 week after the initial signal, they made contact again. This time, it was a video transmission. The image that appeared on screens worldwide was both familiar and alien. The being addressing humanity looked vaguely humanoid, with 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. But its skin was a pale lavender, its eyes large and entirely black. When it spoke, its mouth didn't move. Instead, colors rippled across its skin in mesmerizing patterns. "Greetings, people of Earth," the alien said, its voice a melodious hum translated by advanced AI. "We are the Zarkesh, travelers from the stars. We have watched your world for some time, and we believe you are ready for introduction to the greater galactic community." The announcement sent shockwaves through human society. Religions grappled with the implications, governments debated responses, and the public alternated between excitement and fear. A meeting was arranged. The Zarkesh would send representatives to Earth, landing in a neutral location, the United Nations headquarters in New York. On the day of arrival, the world watched with bated breath. A small craft descended from the orbiting ships, touching down gently on the manicured lawn of the UN complex. As the craft's door opened, humanity got its first in-person look at an alien species. 3 Zarkesh emerged, their movements graceful and fluid. They were taller than the average human, with slender builds and elongated limbs. Their faces were eerily smooth, devoid of any visible nose or ears. But it was their eyes that captivated everyone, large, black, and seeming to hold the depths of space within them. Dr. Chen stepped forward, flanked by UN Secretary-General Amina Khoury and US President Lisa Tanaka. "Welcome to Earth," he said, his voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "We are honored by your presence." The lead Zarkesh inclined its head. "We thank you for your welcome," it replied, its skin shimmering with patterns of blue and gold. "We have much to discuss." Over the next few days, humanity learned more about the galaxy than they had in all their previous history. The Zarkesh spoke of a vast network of intelligent species, linked by faster-than-light travel and advanced technologies beyond human comprehension. But as the initial awe wore off, a disturbing undercurrent became apparent. The Zarkesh, while polite, seemed dismissive of human achievements. They spoke of Earth as a quaint world, barely at the threshold of true civilization. During one particularly tense meeting, a Zarkesh diplomat remarked, "Your species has potential, of course, But you're so very young. It will be centuries before you can truly contribute to galactic society. President Tanaka bristled at this. With all due respect, she responded, her voice tight with controlled anger. Humanity has made remarkable strides in a short time. We've split the atom, walked on our moon, and created artificial intelligence. We're not as primitive as you seem to think. The Zarkesh diplomat's skin rippled with what humans had come to recognize as amusement. My dear Madam President, it said, its tone condescending. What you describe are a child's first steps. The galaxy is vast and full of wonders you cannot yet imagine. Your species is simply not ready. As the diplomatic meetings continued, this attitude became more pronounced. The Zarkesh spoke of uplifting humanity, of guiding Earth's development over the course of centuries. They proposed establishing a small outpost on the moon to oversee human progress. Many world leaders were inclined to accept this offer, seeing it as an opportunity to gain advanced knowledge. But others, like Dr. Rodriguez, who had first detected the alien signal, were wary. They're treating us like we're their pets, she argued in a closed-door meeting with global scientists and politicians. We can't just roll over and accept their patronizing attitude. We need to prove ourselves. As the debates raged on Earth, the Zarkesh dropped a bombshell. They revealed the existence of a galactic challenge, a series of tests designed to evaluate a species' readiness for full participation in galactic affairs. Species that passed were granted access to advanced technologies and equal standing in interstellar politics. Those that failed remained under the guidance of more advanced races. We hadn't planned to mention this, the Zarkesh ambassador said, its skin pulsing with shades of purple and green. Your species is clearly not ready, but since you insist on your capabilities, perhaps you'd like to try? Be warned, no species as young as yours has ever succeeded. The challenge was fraught with risk. Failure could relegate humanity to a subservient position for generations. But success could catapult Earth into a new era of prosperity and knowledge. As the first part of our story draws to a close, humanity stands at a crossroads. Accept the Zarkesh's patronizing oversight, or risk everything in a challenge that could redefine our species' future. The decision would not be made lightly. But as debates raged in the halls of power, a fire was ignited in the hearts of humans around the world. We had touched the stars. We had made contact with an alien civilization, and now we faced our greatest test. The galaxy had thrown down the gauntlet. It was time for humanity to respond. The challenge. The announcement of a galactic challenge sent shockwaves through human society. For weeks, global leaders debated the merits and risks of participation. The Zarkesh, meanwhile, made no effort to hide their skepticism about humanity's chances. You must understand, the Zarkesh ambassador said during a particularly tense UN session, its skin rippling with shades of deep blue. This challenge has broken civilizations far more advanced than yours. We offer this opportunity out of courtesy, but we strongly advise against it. Despite the warnings, or perhaps because of them, a groundswell of support for accepting the challenge grew among Earth's population. Social media buzzed with the hashtag #humanitarises, and protests in major cities worldwide demanded that leaders take the risk. Finally, after a marathon 72-hour session, the United Nations Security Council emerged with a decision. Secretary General Kouri addressed the world, her face etched with the weight of her words. After careful deliberation, and in recognition of the will of Earth's people, we've decided to accept the galactic challenge, she announced. We do this not out of arrogance, but out of a desire to prove our worth and secure our place among the stars. The Zarkesh response was swift and patronizing. We acknowledge your decision, their ambassador stated, skin flickering with what humans had come to recognize as a mixture of amusement and pity. The challenge will begin in 1 Earth month. We suggest you use this time wisely. As the countdown began, Earth mobilized like never before. Political rivalries were set aside as nations pooled their resources and brightest minds. A global task force was established, bringing together scientists, engineers, strategists, and even artists from every corner of the planet. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, who had first detected the alien signal, was appointed to lead the scientific team. "We're facing the unknown," she told her colleagues during their first meeting. "But that's nothing new for humanity. We've always pushed boundaries. Now, we're just pushing them further than ever before." The Zarkesh provided only the barest details about the challenge. It would consist of 3 trials, each testing different aspects of a species' capabilities. The nature of these trials would not be revealed until they began. As Earth prepared, other alien species began to arrive in the solar system to observe. Some were clearly as advanced as the Zarkesh, with ships that seemed to bend the fabric of space itself. Others appeared closer to humanity's level of technology, all watched with varying degrees of curiosity and skepticism. One species, the Nvar, reptilian beings with iridescent scales and keen, golden eyes, reached out to humanity directly. Their ambassador, a being called Salik, requested a private meeting with Earth's leaders. "We have observed many challenges," Salik hissed, its forked tongue flicking as it spoke. "The Zarkesh, they are not as benevolent as they appear. Be cautious, humans. But know that not all in the galaxy share their dismissive view of your kind." This warning, while unsettling, steeled humanity's resolve. As the day of the challenge approached, a palpable mix of excitement and trepidation filled the air. Finally, the day arrived. The Zarkesh announced that the first trial would take place on Mars. A fleet of human ships, hastily retrofitted with Zarkesh technology to allow for faster travel, made the journey to the Red Planet. As they approached Mars, the true scale of the event became clear. Massive structures had been erected on the planet's surface, sprawling complexes that dwarfed any human construction. Ships from dozens of alien species orbited the planet, their designs as varied as the beings that created them. The human delegation landed near the largest structure, a towering edifice of shimmering metal and pulsing energy fields. The Zarkesh ambassador greeted them, its skin a swirl of deep purples and blues. "Welcome, humans, to the first trial," it said, its tone carrying a note of finality. "Are you prepared to face the challenges that have humbled species far greater than your own?" Dr. Rodriguez stepped forward, her chin held high. "We are ready," she declared, her voice unwavering. "Humanity accepts your challenge." The ambassador's skin flickered with what might have been surprise, the first crack in its condescending demeanor. "Very well," it said. "The first trial is one of adaptation and survival. You will be transported to an alien environment, unlike anything on your world. Your task is simple: survive for 7 rotations of this planet." Before the humans could respond, the world around them shimmered and faded. When their vision cleared, they found themselves in a landscape straight out of a fever dream. The sky was a sickly green, with 3 suns of varying colors hanging low on the horizon. The ground beneath their feet was not soil, but a spongy, pulsating substance that seemed almost alive. Strange, crystalline structures jutted from the ground, emitting eerie harmonics that set teeth on edge. The air was thick and had a metallic taste, and gravity seemed to fluctuate unpredictably. Panic threatened to overtake the human team, but Dr. Rodriguez's voice cut through the chaos. "Remember your training," she called out. "We prepared for the unknown. Now, let's show them what humanity can do." As the human team began to analyze their surroundings and set up basic equipment, they were unaware of the billions watching from Earth and the countless alien eyes observing their every move. The first trial had begun, and with it, humanity's chance to prove itself to the galaxy. In the harsh alien environment, the human team quickly realized the magnitude of their challenge. The fluctuating gravity made movement difficult and unpredictable. The air, while breathable, contained elements that their equipment struggled to filter effectively, and the pulsating ground seemed to react to their presence, sometimes helping, sometimes hindering their efforts. Dr. James Chen, the xenolinguist, made a crucial discovery on the second day. The crystalline structures weren't just environmental features, they were a form of communication. It's a language, he explained excitedly to the team. Not words, but pure concepts transmitted through harmonic frequencies. This revelation proved vital. By decoding these harmonics, the team gained crucial information about their environment, where to find water sources, which areas to avoid due to dangerous radiation, and even how to predict the gravity fluctuations. Meanwhile, the engineering team, led by Dr. Yuki Tanaka, no relation to the president, worked tirelessly to adapt their equipment to the alien world. They created gravity stabilizers from modified communication arrays and developed filters that not only made the air more breathable, but also allowed them to extract useful elements from it. But it was a young ecologist, Dr. Kwame Osei, who made perhaps the most important discovery. He noticed that the pulsating ground responded differently to various stimuli. After careful experimentation, he realized a profound truth. The entire environment is alive, he announced to the astonished team. Not just alive, it's sentient. We're not just in an alien world, we're on a living organism. This understanding changed everything. Instead of fighting against the environment, the team began to work with it. They learned to communicate their intentions through vibrations and electromagnetic signals. In return, the living world began to assist them, stabilizing areas for them to rest and even guiding them to nutrient-rich zones. As the seventh day approached, the human team had not only survived, but had begun to thrive in the alien environment. They had established a sustainable base, were producing their own food and water, and had even started to unravel deeper mysteries about the living world they inhabited. When the Zarkesh ambassador materialized before them on the final day, its skin was a turbulent mix of colors that the humans had never seen before. Impossible, it muttered, the translation coming through with a hint of static. You've done more than survive. You've connected. Dr. Rodriguez stepped forward, her eyes bright with the thrill of discovery and accomplishment. We told you not to underestimate humanity, she said. We don't just survive, we adapt, we learn, we grow. The ambassador was silent for a long moment, its skin slowly settling into a deep, thoughtful blue. Perhaps, it finally said, we were mistaken about your species, but do not celebrate yet. 2 trials remain, each more difficult than the last. As the alien environment faded around them and they found themselves back on Mars, the human team was greeted by cheers and applause. News of their success had already spread, and the observing aliens were abuzz with excitement and speculation. Back on Earth, celebrations erupted globally. Humanity had passed the first trial, defying the expectations of the galaxy. But as the initial euphoria faded, a sobering realization set in. They had succeeded, yes, but at a cost. The team was exhausted, both physically and mentally, and 2 more trials awaited, each promising to be even more challenging. As the human delegation prepared to return to Earth for a brief respite before the second trial, Dr. Rodriguez gathered her team. We've proven we can adapt and survive, she said, her voice filled with determination. Now we need to show them we can thrive. Whatever comes next, remember this, we are humanity, and we're just getting started. The first trial was over, but humanity's greatest challenges and opportunities still lay ahead. The galaxy watched, waited, and for the first time, wondered if perhaps they had underestimated this young species from a small blue planet. Unexpected strengths. As the human team returned to Earth, they were hailed as heroes. Their success in the first trial had ignited a spark of hope and pride across the globe. However, there was little time for celebration. The second trial loomed on the horizon, promising to be even more challenging than the first. The Zarkesh, true to form, provided only cryptic information about the next challenge. The second trial, their ambassador announced, its skin shimmering with hues of deep indigo, will test your species' ability to solve complex problems under pressure. Prepare yourselves for a challenge of the mind. Earth's leaders, emboldened by the first success but wary of overconfidence, expanded the team. They'd brought in experts from diverse fields: mathematicians, computer scientists, philosophers, and even artists and musicians. The idea was to approach the next challenge from every possible angle. Dr. Elena Rodriguez remained at the helm, but she now had a co-leader, Dr. Aidan O'Connor, a brilliant Irish polymath known for his unconventional problem-solving methods. "We need to think beyond our usual parameters," O'Connor advised during a strategy session. "The Zarkesh aren't just testing our knowledge, they're testing our ability to think in new ways." As the day of the second trial arrived, the human team found themselves transported to a vast, circular chamber aboard a massive space station orbiting Jupiter. The walls were covered in shifting, holographic symbols and equations. At the center stood a pulsating orb of energy, its surface rippling with complex patterns. The Zarkesh ambassador materialized before them, its skin a kaleidoscope of shifting colors. "Welcome to the Nexus," it said, gesturing to the orb. "Your task is to stabilize its quantum matrix. Failure will result in a cascade reaction that will destroy this station. You have 1 Earth day. Begin." With that, the ambassador vanished, leaving the human team alone with the increasingly unstable orb. Panic threatened to set in as the team realized the enormity of the task before them. The quantum matrix was unlike anything they had encountered before, operating on principles that seemed to defy the laws of physics as they understood them. Dr. Chen, the xenolinguist, was the first to make a breakthrough. "These symbols," he exclaimed, pointing to the walls, "they're not just equations. They're a language, a way of communicating with the matrix itself." This realization set off a flurry of activity. Mathematicians and linguists worked side by side, decoding the symbolic language, while physicists and engineers attempted to understand the underlying principles of the matrix. Hours passed with little progress. The orb's pulsations grew more erratic, and a sense of desperation began to creep in. It was then that Dr. O'Connor made a surprising suggestion. "We're approaching this all wrong," he said, his eyes gleaming with a sudden insight. "We're trying to solve this like it's a physics problem, but it's not. It's music." Confused looks met his statement, but O'Connor pressed on. He pointed out the rhythmic nature of the orb's pulsations, the harmonics hidden within the seemingly chaotic energy fluctuations. "We need to compose a symphony," he declared, "a quantum symphony." It was a radical idea, but at this point, the team was willing to try anything. They brought in the musicians and composers, who began to work alongside the scientists. Mathematical equations were translated into musical notes, energy frequencies into rhythms. As the hours ticked by, something remarkable began to happen. The chaotic pulsations of the orb started to synchronize with the music the team was creating. They weren't just stabilizing the matrix, they were harmonizing with it. With just minutes to spare, Dr. Rodriguez made the final adjustment. The orb's surface smoothed, its energy stabilizing into a gently pulsing glow. A moment of stunned silence fell over the team, broken by the appearance of the Zarkesh ambassador. Its skin was a riot of colors, shifting so rapidly it was almost painful to look at. "Impossible," it said, echoing its words from the end of the first trial. "You've done more than stabilize the matrix. You've improved it." Dr. O'Connor stepped forward, a tired but triumphant smile on his face. "Music and math are universal languages," he said. "We just needed to find the right way to speak them." The ambassador was silent for a long moment, its colors slowly settling into a thoughtful blue. "Your species continues to surprise us," it finally said. "But do not become overconfident. The final trial will test more than your minds. It will test your very essence as a species." As the human team was transported back to Earth, news of their success spread rapidly. The global reaction was one of jubilation and increasing confidence. Humanity had faced 2 incredible challenges and emerged victorious. But amidst the celebrations, a note of caution was sounded. The Nvar, the reptilian species that had warned humanity earlier, requested another meeting with Earth's leaders. "You have done well, Salik," the Nvar ambassador hissed. "But be wary. The final trial is where the Zarkesh truly reveal their nature. Many species have faltered at this last hurdle despite succeeding in the first two trials. This warning, combined with the Zarkesh's cryptic words about testing humanity's essence, cast a shadow over the victory celebrations. As preparations began for the final trial, a sense of determination mixed with apprehension settled over the human team and indeed the entire planet. Dr. Rodriguez gathered her expanded team for a strategy session. "We've proven we can adapt to the unknown," she said, her voice firm. "We've shown we can solve problems in innovative ways. Now, we need to be prepared for anything. Whatever this final trial is, it will likely challenge not just our abilities, but our values, our ethics, our very identity as a species." As the day of the final trial approached, humanity stood united as never before. They had touched the stars and faced challenges beyond imagination. Now, they prepared to face the ultimate test, one that would determine their place in the galactic community. The entire world held its breath, waiting to see what the final trial would bring, and whether humanity's unexpected strengths would be enough to secure their future among the stars. Alliance and betrayal. As Earth prepared for the final trial, an unexpected development occurred. Several alien species, impressed by humanity's performance in the first two trials, began to reach out. The Nvar, who had warned humanity before, were joined by the Keltari, a species of energy beings, and the Ixthari, a collective intelligence of plant-like organisms. These species, while not as advanced as the Zarkesh, had their own grievances with the self-appointed galactic overseers. They saw in humanity a potential ally, a young race with unexpected potential that could shake up the established order. Salik, the Nvar ambassador, spoke to the United Nations in a historic session. "Humans," it hissed, its golden eyes scanning the assembly, "you have shown great promise. We propose an alliance. Together, we can challenge the Zarkesh's dominance and create a more equitable galactic community." The offer was tempting, but it also raised concerns. Some human leaders worried that aligning with other species might be seen as cheating in the final trial. Others feared angering the Zarkesh, whose technological superiority was still vast. After heated debates, a compromise was reached. Earth will accept advice and moral support from these friendly species, but would face the final trial alone as intended. As the day of the final trial dawned, the human team was transported not to an alien world or space station, but to a simple, featureless room. The Zarkesh ambassador appeared, its skin a deep, somber purple. "The final trial," it announced, "is not one of survival or problem-solving. It is a test of your species' core values and decision-making. Before you are 3 doors. Behind each is a scenario that represents a possible future for your species. You must choose one and live with the consequences." The ambassador vanished, leaving the team in stunned silence. Dr. Rodriguez stepped forward, her face set with determination. "Whatever lies behind these doors," she said, "we face it together, for Earth." The team opened the first door. They found themselves on a version of Earth, centuries in the future. Humanity had become a dominant force in the galaxy, with technological marvels beyond imagination. But this future Earth was a polluted, overcrowded dystopia. In achieving galactic dominance, humanity had sacrificed its homeworld and much of its compassion. Behind the second door was another potential future. Earth was a paradise, its environment restored, its people living in harmony. But in this future, humanity had turned inward, rejecting membership in the galactic community to focus on perfecting life on their home planet. The third door revealed perhaps the most challenging scenario. It showed a future where humanity had joined a galactic federation, one of many species working together. Earth was neither a dystopia nor a utopia, but a world in progress. Humanity's influence in the galaxy was limited, but its potential for growth was immense. As the team debated their choice, alarms suddenly blared. A holographic display appeared, showing a massive Zarkesh fleet approaching Earth. The Zarkesh ambassador materialized, its skin pulsing with angry reds and oranges. "We've detected communications between your species and others," it said, its melodious voice now harsh. "This is unacceptable. The trials are meant to be faced alone. Your species has failed." The human team watched in horror as the Zarkesh ships positioned themselves around Earth, weapons at the ready. It was then that Dr. O'Connor made a startling realization. "This is the real test," he exclaimed. "The doors are scenarios. They're all distractions. They're testing how we react under true pressure, when everything is on the line." Dr. Rodriguez nodded, understanding dawning in her eyes. She turned to face the Zarkesh ambassador. "You're right," she said, her voice steady. "We did communicate with other species. We formed friendships, understood different perspectives, and we're not ashamed of that. It's who we are." She gestured to her team, then swept her arm wide as if to encompass all of humanity. "We're explorers, innovators, but more than that, we're connectors. We don't just adapt to new environments, we form relationships. We don't just solve problems, we collaborate. That's humanity's true strength, and we won't apologize for it." The room fell silent. The Zarkesh ambassador's skin swirled with rapidly changing colors, unreadable to human eyes. The tense moment stretched on, the fate of humanity hanging in the balance. Then, unexpectedly, the ambassador's form began to shift. Its humanoid shape melted away, revealing a being of pure energy, pulsing with every color imaginable. "Well done," it said, its voice now a harmonious chorus. "You've passed the true final trial. Not by choosing a door, not by facing our pretend fleet, but by staying true to your nature, even under extreme duress." The energy being expanded, filling the room with warm light. "The Zarkesh you've known were a construct, a facade we created to test new species. We are the Illuminar, custodians of the galaxy, and you, humanity, have proven yourselves worthy of joining the galactic community." As the human team struggled to process this revelation, the being continued. "Your ability to form alliances, to stay true to your values even in the face of supposed failure, these are the true qualities we seek in our galactic neighbors. The trials were never about raw survival or problem-solving skills. They were about seeing a species' true nature under pressure." The room faded away, and the team found themselves back on Earth, surrounded by cheering crowds. News of their success and the true nature of the trials spread rapidly across the globe. Humanity had passed the test, but more than that, they had proven that their unique strengths, adaptability, innovation, and most importantly, the ability to connect and collaborate, were valuable on a galactic scale. As celebrations erupted worldwide, the Illuminar's words echoed in Dr. Rodriguez's mind. They had not just earned a place among the stars, they had opened the door to a new era of intergalactic cooperation. The journey that began with a simple signal from space had transformed humanity's understanding of their place in the universe. They had been tested, challenged, and ultimately illuminated. As the sun set on this momentous day, humanity looked to the stars not with fear or trepidation, but with hope and excitement. Their galactic adventure was just beginning, turning the tables. The revelation of the Illuminar and humanity's success in the trials sent shockwaves through the galactic community. For the first time in millennia, a young species had not only passed the tests, but had done so in a way that challenged the very nature of the trials themselves. As Earth celebrated its newfound status in the galactic community, the Illuminar kept their promise. They began sharing advanced technologies with humanity, but always with a warning. Technology without wisdom leads to destruction. Use these gifts judiciously. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, now serving as Earth's primary liaison to the galactic community, took these words to heart. She worked tirelessly with a global coalition to ensure that the new technologies were used for the betterment of all humanity, not just a select few. However, not all was well in the galaxy. The Nvar, Keltari, and Ixthari, the species that had reached out to humanity during the trials, were in turmoil. Their decision to aid Earth, even in a limited capacity, had drawn the ire of more conservative factions within their own societies. Salik, the Navarre ambassador, arrived on Earth with troubling news. Our overtures of friendship to your species have been seen as a betrayal by some, the reptilian being hissed. There are those who believe we should have left you to face extinction rather than risk upsetting the galactic order. This revelation brought a harsh reality into focus. Humanity's success had disrupted a delicate balance of power in the galaxy. Some species saw Earth as a threat, others as an opportunity, and still others as an abomination that needed to be eliminated. Dr. Aidan O'Connor, who had played a crucial role in the trials, proposed a bold plan. We need to show the galaxy that our way, collaboration, innovation, and connection, is not a threat, but an opportunity, he argued. Let's invite representatives from every species to Earth, not for politics or negotiations, but for a cultural exchange. Let's show them who we really are. The idea was met with skepticism from some human leaders who feared exposing Earth to potential hostile aliens. But Dr. Rodriguez backed the plan wholeheartedly. This is exactly what makes us human, she said. We face the unknown with open arms and open minds. And so, Operation Cosmic Bridge was born. Earth sent out invitations across the galaxy, offering a grand showcase of human culture, achievements, and most importantly, humanity's vision for a more connected and cooperative galactic future. The response was overwhelming. Thousands of alien representatives from hundreds of species descended upon Earth. The logistical challenges were immense, but humanity rose to the occasion. Cities around the world were transformed into hubs of intergalactic cultural exchange. In New York, alien visitors marveled at human art in the Metropolitan Museum. In Tokyo, they experienced the serenity of Zen gardens. In Rio de Janeiro, they danced at the carnival. In Nairobi, they went on safaris to see Earth's diverse wildlife. But it wasn't just about showing off Earth's wonders. Humans were eager to learn from their galactic visitors as well. Impromptu classes sprang up everywhere, with aliens teaching humans about their cultures, technologies, and philosophies. Dr. Chen, the xenolinguist, was in his element. He organized a massive collaborative project to create a true universal translator, one that could not only translate words, but also convey cultural context and emotional nuances. As the days passed, something remarkable began to happen. The tensions and suspicions that had initially colored many of the interspecies interactions began to fade. Aliens who had arrived wary and defensive found themselves charmed by human hospitality and curiosity. The Keltari, beings of pure energy, were particularly moved by human music. They described Earth's symphonies as akin to the songs of neutron stars. In return, they taught humans how to perceive and enjoy the subtle harmonies of electromagnetic fields. The Ixthari collective intelligence found a kindred spirit in Earth's internet. They worked with human programmers to create new forms of digital communication that could bridge the gap between individual and collective consciousness. Even the initially hostile factions began to soften their stance. A group of conservative Envar elders, after spending time with human children in a kindergarten, declared that any species that nurtures its young with such care and creativity cannot be a threat to galactic stability. As Operation Cosmic Bridge reached its zenith, Dr. Rodriguez addressed a gathering of alien representatives at the United Nations. "We invited you here to show you who we are," she said, her voice carrying across the assembly hall. "But in doing so, we've learned so much about who you are. And we've all discovered something profound. Our differences don't divide us, they complete us." Her words resonated across species barriers. The assembly erupted in a cacophony of applause, trills, hums, and other alien expressions of approval. As the galactic representatives prepared to depart Earth, many with promises of continued cooperation and exchange, it became clear that humanity had done more than just secure its place in the galactic community. They had begun to reshape it. The Illuminar, observing from afar, shared a collective thought. Perhaps it is we who have passed a test. The galaxy has long needed a catalyst for change, and humanity may well be it. As the last alien ships left Earth's atmosphere, humanity looked to the stars with new eyes. They had turned the tables on those who had judged them, transforming a potential crisis into an opportunity for growth and connection. The galaxy had challenged humanity, but in rising to that challenge, humanity had changed the galaxy. And this, they realized, was just the beginning of their cosmic journey. A new galactic order. In the years following Operation Cosmic Bridge, humanity's influence spread across the galaxy like ripples in a cosmic pond. The event had not only showcased Earth's culture and values, but had also demonstrated humanity's unique ability to bring diverse species together in harmony. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, now serving as Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Council, found herself at the center of a diplomatic revolution. The Council, once a stagnant body mired in ancient protocols, was being transformed by the influx of fresh ideas and perspectives brought by humanity and their new allies. "We propose a restructuring of the Galactic Council," Dr. Rodriguez announced during a historic session, one that gives equal voice to all species, regardless of their technological advancement or the age of their civilizations. The proposal was met with resistance from some of the older, more established species. They argued that such a system would lead to chaos, that younger races lacked the wisdom to make decisions on a galactic scale. It was then that Salik, the Nvar ambassador, and now one of humanity's staunchest allies, rose to speak. "I once feared the humans," it hissed, its voice carrying across the chamber. "I thought their rapid rise would destabilize our carefully balanced order. I was right, but I was also wrong. They have destabilized us, but in doing so, they have shown us a path to a better future." The debate raged for months, but gradually support for the restructuring grew. Species that had long been marginalized saw an opportunity for their voices to be heard. Even some of the elder races, invigorated by the new ideas flowing through the galaxy, threw their support behind the change. Meanwhile, back on Earth, humanity was undergoing its own transformation. The influx of alien knowledge and technology had sparked a new renaissance. But true to the Illuminar's warning, Earth's leaders were careful to balance technological advancement with ethical considerations. Dr. Aidan O'Connor led a global initiative to integrate alien technology responsibly. "We must not lose sight of our humanity as we reach for the stars," he often said. This philosophy led to remarkable breakthroughs. Clean energy became abundant, solving Earth's climate crisis. Medical advancements eradicated most diseases. Space travel became accessible to the average person. But perhaps the most profound changes were cultural. The concept of global citizenship expanded to encompass galactic citizenship. Children in schools learned not just about human history, but about the rich tapestry of galactic civilizations. Earth became a hub of interstellar culture and commerce. Alien art galleries opened next to human museums. Restaurants served cuisine from across the galaxy. Universities offered exchange programs with institutions on distant worlds. Yet, challenges remained. Not all species were happy with the new order. A faction of isolationist races, calling themselves the cosmic purists, emerged. They viewed the intermingling of species as a threat to their cultural purity and galactic stability. The purists launched a series of attacks on multicultural colonies and trade routes, threatening to plunge the galaxy into war. It was humanity's greatest test since the trials. In a tense emergency session of the Galactic Council, Dr. Rodriguez proposed a bold solution. "We cannot fight intolerance with force," she argued. "Instead, let us extend an open hand. I propose we invite the leaders of the cosmic purists to Earth, not as enemies, but as honored guests." The proposal was risky, but it was approved. When the purist leaders arrived on Earth, they were not met with hostility or defensive posturing. Instead, they were welcomed with open arms, invited to experience the full spectrum of Earth's multicultural society. Over the course of their visit, something remarkable happened. The purist leaders, exposed to the vibrant tapestry of interwoven cultures on Earth, began to see the beauty in diversity. They witnessed how the blending of ideas from different species led to incredible innovations and rich, new cultural expressions. On the final day of their visit, the leader of the purists, a crystalline being named Zix, addressed the Galactic Council. "We came here certain of our convictions," Zix chimed, its crystalline form shimmering with emotion. "We leave humbled and enlightened. We have seen the future on this young world, and it is more magnificent than we could have imagined." The purists' change of heart marked a turning point. The threat of war faded, replaced by a renewed commitment to cooperation and understanding across the galaxy. As news of this diplomatic triumph spread, the Illuminar once again made contact with humanity. Their message was brief but profound. "You have exceeded our highest hopes. The future of the galaxy is in good hands." Decades passed, and the galaxy entered a new golden age. The restructured Galactic Council, with its emphasis on equality and cooperation, fostered unprecedented peace and prosperity. Technological and cultural exchanges between species led to a boom in art, science, and philosophy. Earth, once a small, isolated world on the fringes of the galaxy, had become a shining beacon of hope and progress. Humans, with their adaptability, creativity, and capacity for connection, were at the forefront of this new era. As Dr. Rodriguez, now in her later years, stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, a massive space habitat orbiting Earth, she reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From first contact to the trials, from Operation Cosmic Bridge to the transformation of the galactic order, humanity had faced challenge after challenge. "We were completely wrong," she mused, echoing the words spoken so long ago when the Zarkesh first arrived. Wrong about our place in the universe, wrong about the nature of the challenges we would face. But in being wrong, we found the right path forward. She watched as ships from 100 worlds docked at the station, their crews mingling in a beautiful display of intergalactic harmony. A group of young human children ran past, laughing with their alien friends, their eyes shining with the promise of a limitless future. Dr. Rodriguez smiled. The stars had once seemed so far away, the galaxy a place of unknown threats. Now it was home, and humanity, in finding its place among the stars, had helped the entire galaxy find a better way forward. As she turned to leave, her eyes caught the station's motto, written in 100 languages. "Together we reach higher." It was a simple phrase, but it encapsulated everything humanity had learned and everything they had taught the galaxy. The journey wasn't over. New challenges would always arise. But now they would face them not as isolated species, but as a united galactic community. And at the heart of it all was the spirit of humanity, adaptive, innovative, and always reaching out to connect. The galaxy had changed humanity, but humanity had changed the galaxy even more, and the greatest adventures still lay ahead, waiting to be discovered among the stars.